And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. After that, next person asks, why do you like Amelia? I like Amelia because I find her to be absolutely adorable. Like, she's just trying to, because she loves her empire and she's trying to fight for them, but then she does realize, like, you know, maybe they're doing the wrong thing. She has to stay true to herself, which is why she joined you. And just how she's able to get along with people and be that pure, innocent type soldier. It's just so cute and adorable. Plus, if you train her up, she makes her a very fast general, and I like fast generals. What's your opinion on the new dances on FE Heroes, and also what's your opinion on Axe Zora? I like the dances in FE Heroes. It's a cool twist on it, where like Olivia becomes like a dagger user. They kind of like embrace. They really just embrace their dancing side, and I love some of their new designs. And Axe Zora is awesome because the axe reminds me of Garen's accents. Like, I may have hit my dad, but that's a cool axe he's got. I'm gonna have an axe. I'm gonna have a weapon inspired by that, and it's just cool. And you know, it's cool to see your Zora as such a powerhouse against, like, you know, lance units. Okay, next question. Have you played any of the Shin Megami Tensei games? If so, which one is your favorite? If not, would you consider trying them out? I haven't played them, so I don't have a favourite, but I have considered trying them out because they do look cool and I want to get into more RPGs, and the series has a really good reputation. Okay. What is your favourite Pokemon game, and what are your favourite and least favourite Pokemon? Also, what's your opinion on Aboro, Owain, and Niles being in Warriors? My favourite Pokemon game is Gen 2 Gold and Silver, or Heart Gold, Gold Silver. It's because I grew up in those games, so I've got nostalgia bias, but I just love the way they're structured. I love how there's 2 campaigns, there's so much to do, and it just really feels like a good continuation from Johto. Granted, the level curve is shit, but aside from that, I love it. First, in terms of my favourite Pokemon, Typhlosion, which I mentioned in the last part, Gardevoir, I absolutely love, Salamence, Raichu, Gyarados, Greninja, Aggron, Nidoking, Salazzle, Lurantis, Sceptile, Superior, Umbreon, Toxicroak, Gengar, Staraptor, Angel Slash, Scizor, Empoleon, Galvantula, and Chandelure. Those are some of my favorites. Those Pokemon are just like, yes. Least favorites. I hate Luminion. I hate Snubble. I hate Stunfisk. I hate Lickitung and Licky Licky. I don't like Jinx. I cannot stand the dumb shit that is Bidoof, even though it's an amazing HM slave. I don't like Love Disc. Burmy I don't like. Quagsire I really don't like because it fucks me over a lot. Unknown, Emolga, and probably my most hated Pokemon. I can't fucking stand Purugly. Not only is it just a beefy normal type, which takes a while to take down if you don't have the right moves, but it's just such an unappealing fucking Pokemon. I hate Purugly so much. I want to punch that thing in the face. My opinion on Owain, Niles and Aboro being in Warriors, I think it's cool. Like, having NPCs and stuff like that isn't bad. And stuff. Though, admittedly, it does kind of make me sad. Like, I kind of want to play as these people, especially like Niles and Owain, and definitely Aboro. You know, I'd like, oh, come on, I want to play these people. But having those NPCs, that works too. That works too. Okay, quite a lot of questions for this person. Have you reached Gen 2 of FE4, and if so, what do you think of the OG Black Knight Ares? I haven't reached Gen 2 yet, but I have heard that Ares is meant to be like one of the strongest characters. What are your thoughts on Wendell? Just Wendell, you know. I know he's meant to be like the strong pre-promoted sage unit that comes in, but overall, it's alright. Why do you like Charizard? I like Charizard because I don't know, Charizard was just one of the most appealing Pokemon in Gen 1. He's one of the most best designed because of his simplicity of just being like a fire dragon, and it's really cool. I also like Charizard's just moveset and stuff like that, and I love Charizard's Mega Evolutions. Mega Charizard X and Y are really good. Charizard Y really capitalizing on the special attack and fire attacks with its Sunny Day and stuff, and X being more versatile, having a really good secondary typing. So I really like Mega Charizard. I just really like Charizard for those reasons. Have you ever seen Log Horizon? If so, what do you think of it, and who's your favorite character? I did free for on this. Log Horizon is really cool. As far as like the fantasy world video game style anime is done, I like the way it's really focused on world building, which is what I think anime that should be about. You know, I really like how it does establish society, and it does play by the game's rules, but also manipulates them. It feels like an actual video game. Granted, it does get boring at times, and fucking hell, so much politics it can really irk you, so to speak. My favorite character is Natsugu, just because he's like the cool knight tank dude, and at the same time he's just funny. He's a funny guy, I love him. I love Natsugu. Do you ever plan on doing a PME, Pick My Edits? It's basically a heavily edited version of Fire Emblem ROMs with edits suggested by others. Yeah, like, again, when I get around to ROM hacking and stuff, I do plan to get more experimental with, like, the Fire Emblem games and, you know, do Pick My Edits, randomize rounds and so on, so, you know. Yeah, so. At some point, yes. If FE4 had smaller maps, do you think Arden would be any good? Probably, because Arden could make for, even on, I've tried to use them as best I can, and with the Pursuit Ring, Arden makes for a decent wall against a good couple of units, especially if they like have weapon disadvantage, but because the thing is it's rare that you'll use it. If the maps were smaller, then I could potentially see Arden having more use, especially as like, when the second objective starts, the enemy comes in, he is there to just shield you for a while, so I could see him being better if the maps were smaller, yeah. Did you know that Lilina is actually pretty bad? Yes, I do know that Lilina is actually pretty bad. Again, in normal mode, it's not as noticeable. In hard mode, it's way, way more noticeable. Like, you can really see how bad she is. Who are, in your opinion, the strongest and weakest units in Fire Emblem? Strongest is stuff like Radiant Dawn Ha, Sacred Stone Seth, Fate's Ryoma, Path of Radiance Ike, the Goose Kings, Black Knight, obviously. Who else is a really damn strong unit? Trying to figure out who it is. Sigurd is really strong. For the game, I think Percival's really strong. So I don't think strongest, but overall really strong. Weakest units are things like Lyra and other dude from Thingamajig. From Radiant Dawn, Fiona, Gareth. Gwendolyn's one of the weakest. Sophia's one of the weakest because, again, she just comes in so thingy, she gets killed off easily. Even though she's got high attack, she still gets killed off really easy. Actually, I think Renault's supposed to be really weak because his magic stat sucks. What else is really weak? I don't remember if anyone faces particularly really weak. I know Gunter gets a little outdone by a lot of people. I don't think he doesn't start weak though. Can't really say Donald and Mozu because they can upgrade, you know, into really strong characters, and that's the point of them. Yeah, that's what I can think of when it comes to weakest. Okay. Why do so many people in Mang's comment section hate you? I don't know, I don't watch his videos, I don't pay attention to the comments. I can't answer that question. Am I asking too many questions? No, you're not. You know, I'm happy to answer any and all questions you put forth. Why did you choose to play Ella normal mode for this LP, not Hector normal mode, so you could go over more units and maps? The reason I chose this is so I could show off both sides, because you get exclusive stuff in Eliwood mode, and I don't even know, like Hector mode, you go through pretty much the same things plus more. You know, I wanted to, because Hector Hard Mode also changed up the AI and stuff. I wanted to really just show both sides of it, like a normal run and a hard mode run. But also, you'd see, like, you'd notice the new chapters and the spike in difficulty, so you could definitely see the difference. Whereas if I just played one consistent thing, you know, you wouldn't really, like, it would also, if I ever came back to do a hard mode run, it would feel redundant. So doing it this way, I think you get the best of both worlds. Why is Olivia so awesome? Well, I don't know which Olivia you're referring to. If you're talking about Awakening Olivia, because she's a dancer, she's very nice character design, she's very sweet, and she's cool. If you're talking about my sister Olivia, probably because that's just who she is. I mean, growing up, she takes interest in a lot of the things our family do, whether it be my elder sisters or my younger brother or me. She takes in a lot of stuff. She's really interested in art and fashion and video games and anime and stuff like that. So she likes a lot of things, which is why she's so damn cool. What route will you go when you get to Sacred Stones? See, that's the thing. I plan to do because Sacred Stones, the split isn't very long, I plan to do we go through probably either Erica or Ephraim's route first, but I'll make a restore point at the end of chapter 9 before we do it. At the end of chapter 8 or whatever it is. And then once that path is done, we load the restore point and do the other path, and whatever happens in that path is canon, but at least we get to show off everything that happened in the other pathway. So we killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Love it. What difficulty will you play when you get to Sacred Stones? Start with normal mode, do hard mode later. That's how it works. Start normal, do hard later. Are you prepared for the anger you'll be feeling from Hector Hard Mode? See, that's the thing. I don't think Hector Hard Mode is that hard. It's hard, but, you know, Binding Blade Hard Mode is harder and stuff like that. You know, I've played harder stuff. Blazing Sword is not one of the hardest Fire Emblem games, and the harder Fire Emblem games have the harder hard mode, so I'll be alright, I think. What are your thoughts on Finn? I like him. He's a bit of the underdog unit, and he really looks up to Quan, but I think he's cool. When he gets that Brave Lance, awesome. What are your thoughts on Erin? I think she's pretty cool. She does remind me a lot of Pala, and I like her. She does help a lot in Genealogy because of the way the terrain is structured. She has an advantage, provided you can keep out ballistas. So she definitely has, you know, thing. And I like that she starts with a sword. You know, that makes it very useful for taking care of bandits. And what are your thoughts on Lewin? He's a very cool guy. You know, cool mage dude, and his design is really interesting. I loved it. Okay. What ways do you think you could improve FE4 if we got a remake? I think I've said this like multiple times. Make it more user-friendly, work on the summary system, make it more clear to the player, probably shorten down chapters and break them up more, but still multiple objectives within them, maybe 2 objectives instead of like 3 or 4, so that there's more to do, and so that, so that it doesn't put so much stress on the player, gotta play Gaiden or Echoes. And it's, things are more, like, it's easier to play, it's more streamlined. And, you know, show this off again because I like it. Yeah, we'll get to you eventually, Hector. Also, you know, update the system so it just works in line with the more things stuff, and make it so that, and work on the character balancing so mouse units, while they're definitely the more favourable, they're not the be-all end-all of the game. Okay, next question. Do you play Destiny and Overwatch? If so, what console? I do not play Destiny, but I do play Overwatch. I've been playing it less these days because, I don't know, some of the way it's been updating stuff and the way characters are changing is just not as fun. But I play Overwatch on PC. Okay, so next set of questions. Have you ever had any interest or experience with the Danganronpa series? I actually have the game downloaded on Steam, I just haven't got around to it yet, because I got so many recommendations, because apparently it's a very character-focused game, and because I like Fire Emblem, they said I'd like this as well, so at some point I'll get around to it. What was your major and minor when you were in college? See, this must be more of an American thing, because, well, I didn't do, I think their college is our university, so I only did a, like, I have a degree in 3D animation, I don't have, like, a major in it, we don't have, like, majors and minors, we just have degrees. We have you know, degrees in one particular subject. Let's just take us another thing. So mine was 3D animation. Since you've shown you like to draw, given the portraits, how often do you like to draw? I like to draw whenever possible. I'm a big fan of art. I studied it a lot. You know, part of my 3D animation course, there was a lot of artwork involved because you got to do a lot of storyboarding and character designs for like my animations. So I like to draw as much as possible, and I really liked it. Been a big fan, can't wait for the Hector Hard Mode run. That's fantastic, I hope you enjoy it. Okay. Do you have any plans on doing any lists related to Fire Emblem Warriors, like characters, specials, or supports? Yes, I do. I'm probably, once I get the Warriors video done, depending on how I feel about the game, I might do things I love and hate about the game. Probably DLC characters I'd like to see, supports I hope could happen, based on like how the supports work out, or extra modes or maps I'd like to see in the game. So those types of lists you can look forward to. Okay. So Blazing Knight, what are your thoughts if FE Switch brought in a character from older games similarly to what Fates did? My thing is, as long as it isn't forced and it works, I'm okay with it. With Fates, it was slightly forced with the retainers, but it wasn't the worst thing ever because you saw how the characters had evolved since then, and they were still just secondary characters. And again, like, it wasn't like completely, like, they didn't just say these are new characters but they have exact same personalities. No, they were the same people, but you've seen how they've grown over time. So I was cool with that, as long as it makes sense, it's fine. Don't do what Fates did in the other sense, where you have child units of literally the same people. I swear to God, if I fucking see FE Switch has child games for no reason, and one of them is literally Camilla for the sake of fan service, I'm gonna fucking throw that game out the window and stomp it into the ground, because that's bullshit. But yeah, so as long as it isn't forced, that's fine. What is your least favourite video game? Well, see, the thing is, I try to stay away from bad games or play them as little as possible. But I'd say my least favourite that I actually still own and have played quite a bit of back then was Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, I'm not saying Shadow the Hedgehog is the worst game of all time. There are worse games out there. But for the games I own, it's probably the worst game I have, because it's... Some commentators said it best if you watch his review, and especially his LP. Oh, the game is just not good. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think it's the worst Sonic games ever. But there is some stuff to like. Some of like Never Turn Back's a great music track. I like some of I like playing neutrally, just running around with guns and shooting people. That's fun. But aside from that, the game's just really just I'm not. I mean, if you like Shadow the Hedgehog, then you have every right to. I can see some appeal in the game. For me, it's just it's my least favorite video game. So that's me again. I preferred Sonic 06. Sonic 06 has some really bad stuff, but I preferred it. Okay. Next question. My question is, what is your Fire Emblem Heroes team? I assume you use the Black Knight, perhaps Ninian. Sorry, I was going to say Nephi. I don't have Ninian, so sadly, no. I just yesterday maxed out the Black Knight, and he replaced Roy on my team. And I also had to switch out Gwendolyn for Olwen, because she's basically a discount Reinhardt, but that's still really good. She basically has a brave blue tone. That way I've got a bow unit, a red unit, a green unit, and a blue unit. So I've got Brave Lyn, Black Knight, Nino, Olwen. So I used them because I felt it was just the most well-rounded team, and it could do a lot of stuff. I don't have a healer, but to be fair, unless the map really dictates it, I don't think healers are really necessary in Heroes, because the game's more about just killing people as quickly as possible. Okay. How do... Alright, so no, sorry, I skipped 2 questions. Blazing Knight, have you played Persona 5? If so, who's your favourite Persona character? I have not played Persona 5, even though I've seen nothing but amazing praise for it. But the Persona series is something I really want to get into. I have Persona 3 Special Edition, which I plan to play at some point. People have gone on and on, my friends have gone on and on about how amazing of a game Persona 4 is, and Persona 5 looks to be awesome, so I will get into Persona, and eventually I'll get around to Persona 5. What are your opinions on Shadow Dragon? I myself think it's one of the best games in the series. I think it's one of the weakest, but I still think it's a fantastic game. It is very, more streamlined Fire Emblem game with a lot less bullshit, but it just features a lot less of the stuff we've come to expect and what really makes Fire Emblem what it is, like supports, more unique classes and so on. But for what it's worth, I like the streamlined approach. I actually think overall the level design is pretty good and stronger than games like Binding Blade and Echoes and stuff. And I think it's just a fun game to play on the DS. Not my favourite, but I still think it's really good. Okay, this person asks, how do you feel about Shigure in the new banner? That's cool. I've never been huge on Shigure, but seeing him in the dark outfits is cool. Granted, out of the 4 units, he's the one I care for the least, but it's cool to see this new take on him. I think it makes him stand out more. Okay. Next set of questions. Next question, so it's just one I've got to cover. What's your opinion on the design and names of the new Most Huntable monsters shown in the new couple of trailers? So these are the ones that were revealed. If I mispronounce the names, sorry, it's just they have weird names. Nergigante. That thing looks fucking terrifying, and I absolutely love it. It looks like Satan came to take our souls. So there's that. The other one is, I think it's Juratodos. That one looks okay, but it's a bit plain. I mean, it's fine, but it kind of looks a bit bland. This one is, it's called the... I think it's Titsi Yaku, or whatever it is. Kind of typical, but overall cool. Nothing special, but it's an overall cool monster. The Palumu. It's very weird, but it's also quite interesting. This will be one of the more unique monsters. Definitely strange, but interesting. Toby Kadachi. That's a rather cool monster, and it's a very slick design. I like the way this thing looks. You know, I look forward to hunting that. The Zora Magdaros. That's a very epic big monster that reminds me of the Gravios, so that could be cool. Probably one of the slow monsters, but definitely very epic and large. Puke, whatever it is. I really like it. It looks dumb, but at the same time, it looks unique, which I really like. And the Lagina, whatever it is, that's creepy, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. You know, I like the new monsters from Monster Hunter. Well, they definitely look cool. Next question. What's your opinion on Super Mario 3D Land? Super Mario 3D Land is a perfectly fine game. It's a strong 3DS title, and I had fun with it, but it's also one of the most forgettable Mario games I've played. I mean, it wasn't necessarily boring, it's just, after beating it, I was like, okay. So yeah. Great, it's a perfectly competent, fine game, but it lacks that charm and identity, really. It has a bit of an identity crisis. Okay. Next question. Will you ever do an Ace Attorney top 10? Probably either best characters or best cases. That's all I can really think of. Okay. Who is your favorite character from the Grail Mercenaries? Probably either Ike, Titania, or... Well, if you want to count the core Grail Mercenaries, probably Ike, Titania, or Shinon, or Soren. If you want to count the ones that come in later, it's probably Zirark, and Nephany, yeah, and like Jill and stuff. But I don't really consider them Grail Mercenaries, just rather, you know, just extra people to come on board. You know, Grail Mercenaries are like the core group that you start with from Radiant Dawn. Okay. Next question. When you play as the Dawn Brigade, who are your main units? Who do you devote the most resources? Okay, so who are your main units? And who do you devote the most resources and bonus XP to when you play Radiant Dawn? Well, the main units I use, not counting Micaiah and Soph, Jill, Zirark, Edward, Nolan, Aaron, Laura, and Ileana. Those are the main ones I use for the Dawn Brigade parts because I just find them to be the most competent and they usually turn out pretty good, even like just throughout. They're very strong. In terms of like bonus XP, who I give a lot to, I do tend to feed Ileana quite a bit of bonus XP to help her level up because she has a disadvantage in Radiant Dawn, but I always like to have her strong by the end game just so she can destroy the dragons at the end with her Rex Bolt, because goddamn, she absolutely nukes them. I also give quite a bit to Micaiah because again, she has fixed promotion, you want to make sure she's as strong as possible by then. And I think I give quite a bit of bonus EXP to also give quite a bit of bonus XP to. Bonus XP, I tend to do it where if the unit's close to leveling up, I'll use the bonus XP just to finish them off. Like if they're 50 or higher, then I'll use it just to round them out. If they're lower, then I'll leave it. That's how I usually do Radiant Dawn, so it varies. Okay. After playing Xenoblade Chronicles, did you look back on what happened in the game and realize how messed up it was? It is kind of, but, you know, it happens, and it definitely is kind of messed up in the whole grand scheme of things, but I don't find it, like, revolting or anything. Just, you know, it's just something you notice, like, around. I think that's what makes a good story, when you go back and you're like, oh, right, yeah, I see. Okay. Next question. What are your favorite anime villains and why? Well, I did a list on this ages ago. Well, Frieza's one of them because I think he's just so malicious and cool, and he's got my favorite Arc and Dragon for Z. Estef because she's one of the most fun, entertaining, but also cool villains ever, and just so badass. I love her to pieces. I also really love Gilgamesh from Fate because he's such an overpowered scumbag. I love Vicious from Cowboy Bebop because he's so evil and he's got that presence to him that's amazing. I love Makishima from Psycho-Pass because he's he has like the way he works within the narrative is really interesting and all the themes surrounding him are really cool. I love Knives from Trigun because he's like the opposite of Vash and he's just so cruel and evil. I love Dio because Dio's just, I don't know, Dio has that aura to him you can't help but just find so awesome. What else is another anime villain I really love? I also love Light Yagami because I think he's incredibly well written, and I love how he does contemplate, like he does argue with himself and how he does things. So yeah, if you go watch that list, you can see why those are my favorite villains and stuff. Okay. Have you ever used any of the capture bosses from Fates? If so, what's your favorite? And if not, are you ever going to capture and use them? I don't, just because I'm fine with the units, but I reckon maybe if I'm doing like a hard mode run, or maybe a pick my edits run of Conquest, then I'd use captured units. I got nothing against them, I just don't really use them. So, you know, I don't really use them, but at some point I will. Okay. In your opinion, what is the best way to deal with certain Conquest chapters, like the ones where everyone has to live, or the end game, or chapter 10? So, alright, I'm just gonna go through some chapters I think, like some of the harder chapters in the game, and like some advice that I would give based on my experience. It might not work for everyone, but this is based on how I got to deal with them. Okay. Think of it as a beginner's guide to Conquest. Okay. So, chapter 10. Okay, you have Corin tank the mid-right, where you have a lot of Axios come in with his sword. So you tank that. You have Effie and Arthur tank the main right bit with all the archers. Give Effie the javelin, have Arthur back her up with, what do you call it? And don't support the people together. Make them separate so they can do double attacks, because you want to kill these people as quickly as possible. Have Odin or Nyx use the magic ballista, and have Azora next to her to double using it, because it's actually very useful. Once Camilla comes in, have her tank the mid-left, because there's a wall blocking the way and they won't get through for a while. Also have Niles on the ballista in the middle, taking out people. Use Baruka to take down the flyers coming in, usually from the right and stuff, so she can intercept them. And have Selena and Silas tank the left flank, because again you got a lot of magic units, but Silas has the movement to get there and back easily. So that's what I would recommend. For chapter 17, because that's quite the hard one, get as many physical tanks as possible, because that's what you're going to need. You don't really need magic units for this chapter, you need physical tanks. And give them all ranged weapons. You know, give them javelins, give them hand axes, give them tomahawks, give them all ranged weapons. My best advice is to take on small groups at a time and block as many entrances as possible when taking people on. Because you don't want the enemy to flood you, because remember, there's a lot of ninjas there with poison strike and debuffing, so you want to take out small pockets of them at a time and work your way around it. But you definitely want the physical tanks, so Effie, Benny, Baruka, Camilla, Xander, definitely, but Charlotte's a good choice just for the raw power, and stuff like that. And also, you probably want to use all the siblings just so you have the Dragon Veins available to you, and you can activate them whenever you feel like it. Okay, so, chapter 20, because that one fucks people over. Get a lot of Beast Killer weapons, so you can take out the Kinshi Knights easily. Keep an eye on the wind, and actually try to use it to your advantage to ambush the enemy. Good. If you go to the, when you start the chapter, if you go to the right, I think on like the second or third turn, the wind will push you up. If you have a unit positioned in the right area, push, and it will push them up so you land exactly in the middle of the enemy group, and then you take them out, because if you don't, you've got to go around the long way, and they can easily like kind of narrow, scissor you in. So if you get right into the center of it and take them out, that's good. So try to use the wind to your advantage. For chapter 21, use Dragon Veins at least every turn to freeze the enemies in place. And once you do that, focus on taking out the rock golems, not the faceless. Also, do not try to leave the faceless alive when you fight them, because they have Savage Blow, and trust me, that Savage Blow will fuck you over as big as possible. So don't try to engage the faceless, and if you have to, try to one-round them. And also don't try to like, maybe you can see that you can't freeze them this turn, so you think, okay, I'll just tank the faceless. Don't do it. The Savage Blow will screw you over so badly. So really try to stay away from the faceless, move through the chapter, take them out, but focus on getting the rock golems. That's a good level up for Sarah, I'll tell you that much. This is why I'm glad I'm using her this time. Okay, so chapter 24. Make sure you have strong flyers, because you're going to need them to activate, like, you need Camilla and Baruka to, like, maybe get, because Hanoka will fuck with the Dragon Vein, so you need them to move, when that happens, you need them to move as far as possible. Get bowmen, bow weapons, and beast killing weapons. You will need it for the Kinshi Knights, I kid you not, there are so many of them, and Pegasus Knights, you're going to need it. So beast killer weapons, beast killer units, and bowmen, go for it. Also, don't use pair up very much, because you want to keep spread out as many units as possible and attack as much as you can, because the chapter is filled to the brim with units coming at you, so you really want to have as many units available as possible to attack. Chapter 25. This one, you definitely want to use pair up to take hordes and use your best physical tanks, because they really like to narrow you in to the corridors. So get like Benny or Xander or Baruka out there, tanking the hits, and have them pair up so you can boost their stats and have them do like the shield blocking. That way, once you tank the first couple of hits and the enemy have made their move, then you can move in and pick them off. But you really want to have the strongest physical tanks to block them in the first turn, in the first attack turn. For chapter 26, take down one side at a time. Don't split the team up too much. So either go to the right, take out the mages, then backtrack, go to the left, take out the golems and the faceless. Once you've done that, then decide, do you want to come in from the right or the left? I recommend going from the left so you can take out the generals first, because they're a bit harder, because they have Wary Fighter and stuff. And then once they're done, the action units will move on the way, and then you want to take out the action units. They're a bit easier, so, you know, because also you don't want the generals to come at you while you're trying to take care of the action units and then get fucked over. Whereas if you're taking care of the generals, the action units come, they're not as dangerous, in my opinion. And endgame, don't straight out of the gate rush for Takumi. Deal with the first big wave of enemies coming from the sides, and then once you've got closer, once you've dealt with that, then you just dogpile him and just go at it, go crazy, because he has the shield thing. So, you know, try to make him use that up. Like, let's say you do land a couple of good hits, and then you've got 2 units left to attack, but he's got a shield. Use the weaker one to attack. So maybe you're like, you just use it up, and then you have the stronger one come in and finish him off. So, you know. Okay. It also says, have you played or heard of the Ace Attorney games? If so, what's your favorite chapter and villain? Yeah, I have. I mentioned that before. Favorite chapter? In the first one, I honestly really liked the last chapter and the Steel Samurai one. I really like that. Favorite villain? Probably, actually, you know who I really like? Von Karma's daughter from the second one that I've currently played. I really like her. It's just like the way she asserts her authority. It's just so cool. So I really like that. Okay. So, next question. Me and Sol haven't been watching LPs of the Japanese version of Fire Emblem Warriors yet. I was wondering if you've seen any. I wonder if you've seen any, and if you have, what villains have you seen that you liked? If not, what would you like to see? I haven't watched the LPs. I want to just go into Warriors completely blind, so I can't really say. I haven't seen anything. In terms of villains, well, based on like the history mode and stuff, you know, I hope to see. I know I'm going to see Valadan. Apparently, I'm going to see Garneth and Iago. So I hope to see maybe Sonya. No, or actually, I'd like to see, because it's Lyn. Fucking what's his name? What's her uncle called? God, his name escapes me right now, and it shouldn't be. Lundgren. That's it. Yo, I'd like to see Lundgren. That'd be cool. Just a cool callback to Blazing Sword Lyn part. And if it's like Celica, we see you know, what's his face? Jeddah. You know, that's what I'd like to see in terms of villains. Hey, the thing's wrapping up, but I think I've got time. Okay. Next question. Gates, best warrior, yay or nay for FE7? I'm going to say yes, since his growth rates aren't that much lower than Dorcas's and Barter's. Plus, he has good weapon levels in both, and he gets hard mode bonuses, and space stats are alright. Whereas, so I think on the whole, he's probably more likely to turn out good, whereas Dorcas and Barter, there's always a chance of being RNG screwed, whereas even if he gets RNG screwed, his bases are still fine enough to work. Okay, and also us, you know, next question. What are your favourite critical animations from any Fire Emblem? Mine is Helicopter Hector. I love the Warriors animation from GBA, I love the Generals animation, the Heroes animation, and the Swordmasters animation. They're just really cool. What's your favourite dodge animation from Fire Emblem? Mine is Mercenary from the GBA, just kind of dodge to the side. Mine, I like the Knight where they just kind of move their lance and just like, nope. I again like the Mercenary one, that's just kind of lean, like shrug it off, whatever. And I like the Mage one because they kind of like just do this epic back turn, like, oh, hell no. And last, if you could change the look of one class in the latest Fire Emblem games, what would it be? I changed the look of Knights because they look way too roly-poly for my liking. In the GBA and like Thing era, they were more angular and bulkier, whereas here they're just so round. I prefer when they're angular and they have that real bulk to them. They look more intimidating, so that's what I go with. So anyway, that's it for that part. Hopefully, the next part will be, I think it will be the last set of questions because there aren't that many to get through. So we'll finish up Lyn Hard Mode, and at the same time we'll finish these villains, and that will be that until I return with Olivia and Zane. But until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.